Hi guys, and welcome to another Hero of the Week. Well, this week's hero, in my opinion, is Alastair Campbell, former press secretary for Tony Blair. Now, he appeared on Question Time on Thursday, where the topic was, of course, sleaze and corruption. Campbell explained reality to people when it comes to how the Tory party operate and Boris Johnson at the top of it. He described the Prime Minister breaking the ministerial code, thus setting a precedent for other ministers and MPs. He also described Johnson as a bad man. And he's right. Let's hear what he had to say.
If the Prime Minister consistently, regularly breaks the ministerial code, why shouldn't other ministers think they can do exactly the same and get away with it, as Priti Patel has done, as Michael Gove has done, as Matt Hancock did until he got caught doing something not to do with his public duties? So I really think we've just got to face up to the fact we, sadly, in my view, have elected a Prime Minister who has no moral compass whatsoever. I speak as somebody who's known him probably for longer than anybody else on this panel. And I honestly believe, unless and until the Conservative Party face up to the fact he is not, as Keir Starmer said, a trivial man, he is actually a bad man, and until people face up to that, this country's politics is going to be damaged, possibly beyond repair.
Wonderful. Could we have Alastair Campbell, just for one day, in the House of Commons, replacing Keir Starmer, just for one day? I know it's not possible because he's not an MP, but it would be wonderful, just for one day, for him to face down Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson would be running away with his tail between his legs. Now, he's right here. Boris Johnson has set the precedent. Boris Johnson has set the standard. And ministers and MPs, ministers in particular, of course, understand they can break the rules because Boris Johnson is doing it. And Boris Johnson is not getting punished. And they also know that if they break the rules, nothing is going to happen to them. Because Boris Johnson has an 80-seat majority. They're not going to get punished. And who is going to punish them? Well, the Speaker of the House is not going to punish them. We've seen on numerous occasions how he will rant and rave about, not using "you" and about the correct attire at the House of Commons. Those issues are important to him, but holding ministers to account, well, that comes second. Allowing them to break the ministerial code is not really a big issue, it seems, for the Speaker of the House. But we also have the other issue of the opposition. The opposition are too weak. I'm not blaming them for that. Boris Johnson has an 80-seat, more or less 80-seat majority at the moment. So he can do pretty much whatever the hell he wants. I've said before, if Boris Johnson had a 1 or 2-seat majority, he would be acting in a very different way. And of course, we have to get back to Brexit. A lot of what Boris Johnson does and gets away with is because he's there to get Brexit done. The public still think that he needs to get Brexit done. And we've seen during the pandemic how thousands of people were dying, and and the response from voters was, well, he's doing his best. He couldn't have predicted it. Let's give him some more time. Give him a break. This is a guy who's on holiday almost every month, and he is avoiding going to critical meetings like the Cobra meetings. He's not serious. He treats Parliament like a charade. He treats it like a game, a playground for him, a debating chamber. He goes in there, he has his debate with the opposition, he gets cheered on by his supporters, and then he goes home. He doesn't really care about running the country. He doesn't care about the work of government. I think he finds it boring, perhaps. So, yes, call him out, describe how he has broken the rules and how he has set the standard. That's why Alastair Campbell is Hero of the Week. See you another time for another Hero of the Week.